Welcome. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. This is an exciting day. And thank you for joining me here live. So, hey everyone, my name is Sherry Otto. A few years back, while I was in demand at HubSpot, we ran a little experiment. We had two lead lists. One was full of people who downloaded content, and then the other was full of people who had like certain quiet behavior cues, like page revisits and product inquiries and email replies. And guess which one closed more deals? Hold that thought. So in today's mini workshop, from random leads to reliable pipeline, we're going to show you why that result wasn't a fluke. And we're going to show you how to spot those cues, those same silent cues inside of your CRM right now. So get ready. I've got my mug here. I got this You're Strong, Capable, and Beautiful mug for us today. If you got a beverage, grab your beverage. Let's have some fun today because we're really going to dig in and help you identify those quiet cues that are working inside your CRM and how to bring those folks into a demand and sales opportunity. If you're here, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm sharing from South Carolina. Super excited to have you. And if something resonates with you today, I want you to, and then something says, oof, that totally hit me, or yes, and it resonates, I want you to drop an aha in the chat. Aha, A-H-A. Let's try that. Type an A-H-A. A-H-A. Oh, that's a mouthful. Perfect. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right. Let me paint a familiar picture. You're staring at your CRM, dozens, maybe hundreds of content downloads, the white papers, the guides, the webinars, all that stuff. And yet your pipeline is quiet. Can you hear the crickets? Yeah. So you're saying to yourself, why aren't these leads converting? And why do you feel like you're doing everything right, all the right things, and you're still coming up short? So this is the problem no one wants to say out loud. Well, most funnels weren't built to turn interest into pipeline. Actually, they were built to collect emails and not create momentum. So back at HubSpot, we ran a little experiment. We wanted to know, are content downloads really good indicators of sales readiness? So we tracked two separate groups. Group A, those are the folks who downloaded those gated pieces of content. Group B, those are the leads who showed those buyer behaviors, like revisiting the website and wanting to learn more about the product and like responding to your emails, actually responding to emails. Those are the folks in the other group. And we kind of compared them side by side. And here's what's interesting. Group B consistently outperforms Group A in conversions. In other words, just because someone downloads a resource doesn't mean that they're ready for a sales conversation. Now, if you're watching this on the replay, drop an aha if that resonates with you. And pushing them into a sales conversation prematurely, well, that's like proposing on a first date. It doesn't work. So we are treating intent like a checkbox when it should be a conversation. Yes. So I call this the museum mistake. Okay, so imagine you're walking through a beautiful, well-curated exhibit. You pause at the sculpture, you linger at the painting, you double back to read the artist's bio. A good museum guide would notice these cues, these patterns, and they would offer context, maybe ask you a question and share something meaningful based on what you're gravitating towards. Yes? Well, a guide that isn't so great, they'd shove a tour brochure in your face at the entrance and then disappear for the rest of the time. Yeah. That's what most funnels do. They toss a lead magnet at the top of the funnel and they hand it off to sales with no idea to what you're actually gravitating towards or responding to. Drop an aha if this is making sense. Okay, so who here wants to fix that? Who here is not okay with that? If you're here and you're watching this, even on the replay, drop the word fix as a signal that we're synced and trying to fix that. So here's what most funnels go wrong. They treat leads like a light switch, on and off, like the one that you see here on your screen, engaged or not. Download the resource, send them straight to sales. No nuance, no layers, no sort of indicators. It's just all or nothing. But is that how buyer behavior works? No, absolutely not. So real buyer behavior, it looks more like a cascade, like a series of subtle signals that build momentum, that build trust and context over time. Okay, so I call this the signal cascade method. I'm so excited about this. I wanted to share this with you guys today. So it moves beyond sending an email after a webinar, right? So like we all kind of do that, but it goes beyond that. It's about really decoding those micro signals in order so that you know not just what someone did, but why they did it and then what it mattered, how it matters in context of the big picture. So let me show you what I mean. If someone downloads a white paper but doesn't open up the follow-up email, that's a weak signal. We can agree to that. If someone downloads a white paper, then clicks on to learn about pricing, and then they revisit your website and then come back through a branded search, that's signal stacking. They get more intent weight. But most teams never track that sequence. They see it as one-off actions. And I'm saying it's more like a build, and we need to understand it in its totality. So it's like watching a museum visitor stare at the exhibit and have no clue if they're interested, if they're confused, or if they're just like staring at their phone. So here's the move. Start tracking signals in order, not just signal volume, and not just in one-off kind of way. Because someone who watched a video before clicking the pricing is in a different place in the buyer's journey than someone who reversed that sequence. Okay, so we want to assign meaning to the sequence itself. Did the lead move from problem-aware content to testimony and case study content? That's not noise, that's readiness. So this is what I mean by that guided museum tour. So you want to observe behaviors in real time, interpret those signals, and then really gently guide them to the next step in the sales process, that aha for them, based on how they're moving through your content and experiencing your brand and business. So I want you to use micro behaviors to trigger micro nudges. Use micro behavior to trigger micro nudges. Okay, so one smart follow-up personalized to their sequence, personalized to what they're doing, is a lot better, and it really outperforms 10 generic nurture emails. And who has received those 10 generic nurture emails over and over and over again? I've been there, I've seen it. It's definitely a turnoff, and doesn't make you really want to trust that brand because you don't feel like they get you or they know you. So you don't need a complex funnel builder. You need a lens that helps you see what's already happening inside your CRM and respond to it with precision. So let's do a quick recap. You now understand why most funnels fail to convert passive leads. You've seen the museum mistake that causes drop-off. And you've learned how to use the signal cascade method to stop and stack that buyer intent. But here's the thing. Seeing signals is not enough. Because unless your funnel knows what to do with them, you're still chasing leads instead of guiding them, and that's the missing piece. So if you want your pipeline, you want a pipeline that fills itself with those sales-ready leads, not just activity, but actual momentum downstream. That's exactly what I'm going to be teaching in the full funnel, the full training of this. It was just called Turning Signals into Pipeline Without Rebuilding Your Funnel. You see the QR code on your screen. Go ahead and either get the link. You can go. The link should be in the comments for you to sign up for that waitlist. That's going to really break down the structures, the workflows, the messaging, the actual signals that you should be building your workflows around. That's going to be the more extensive training for you. Definitely jump in there. You can also get the slides for this particular training. If you did register, you can still register for this training here. That link will be in the comments as well. But I want to make sure that you understand that there are certain signals that you want to begin building your workflows around, your automations around. And it's not just one-off, it's not inside of a container, but it's in these subtle signals that stack and have context over time. So this is the training. The long training is where we move from messaging into systems, exact signals, and those workflows that you're going to need to have clarity and use that clarity to drive conversions. So like I said, feel free to scan the QR code or grab the link to the wait list. You're going to get early access, live Q&A with me, and exclusive behind the scenes that I only share with waitlisters for that training. And so I cannot wait to see you there. I hope this served you well. I'll be back next Thursday for another live, and let me know if you stop by. Thanks so much. Have a good one.